brushes now and palettes and what we use. Now the essential implement or implements are a brush and a palette knife with painting, and there are many brushes, but let's just look at one which is a common brush. This is a 50-cent brush made in China, and it's a pig's bristle brush. Now with brushes, we've got to condition the brushes so we can use them. The main purpose of the brush is to get our paint from the palette onto the canvas as efficiently as possible. But it's not to scrub the canvas as though we're washing a cement floor. It's trying to get a medium onto a canvas, and the canvas has to be receptive to that medium. To do that, to get the canvas receptacle, we put on a gesso or a coat. This one's pre-coated for reasons of expediency. But our brush here is stiff now, they come starched. So we've got to condition the brush before we go much further. To do that, we can put it in a little bit of terps and start to loosen it, a little bit of oil. And I use linseed. Now the oil and the terps will start to loosen up the bristles. Now 50% of these brushes, being 40 cents each or 50 cents each, are normally not very good. But the other 50% are okay. When you get a good one, we stick to it. It's probably because the bristles they're pig bristles and probably come from all over the pig. We don't know which part, but there's probably some parts of the pig bristles that are more effective than others. The brush starts to loosen up after a while, and it gets a spring or a flexibility. A bit more terps and a rag. I'll just get the rag. Another essential element of painting is to have many rags as possible. Rags are used to clean your brushes and wipe things off that you don't want, which happens quite a lot with everyone. After a while, the brush starts to loosen up, and it gets a spring. It gets a chisel point, and it gets a spring in the actual bristle itself. Now this spring is critical, as is the softness of the canvas, because we can, by the usage of that spring and the softness of the canvas, we can control the amount of pressure so we can get the maximum amount of paint from the brush onto the canvas when we want to. Notice that the manner in which I hold the brush, just like a carpenter has a manner of holding a chisel, an artist has a manner of holding the brush. And the reason I hold the brush thus is to control the pressure more effectively. I can't control the pressure this way. I can control it, but I can't control the amount of paint coming off, because very little paint comes off the tip of the brush. Paint comes off the side of the brush, so we hold the brush, and it allows us to move in many directions, in all 360 degrees. Absolutely critical when we paint. Turning it over, similarly the other way. And there's very little fatigue in the arm if we do change direction. Fatigue sets in if we constantly go in one direction, so does RSI and all sorts of other things, and boredom. If we constantly brush in one direction thinking that we're going to get some particular result.